Call the May 2017 board meeting of the Hudson River Black River Regulating District to order. Roll call, Mr. Farrar.
Mr. Chairman. Mark Finkel.
Here.
Albert Hayes.
Here.
David Berkshire.
Here.
Anthony Meadows.
Excused.
Jeffrey Rosenthal.
Here.
Robert Stallman. Here. Robert Leslie. Here. Robert Fulton. John Hodgson. Stephanie Rizicki. Here. Richard Farrar. Here. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We need a motion to adopt the meeting agenda. There's no revisions or executive session needed.
I'll make that motion, please.
I'll second it.
Mr. Berkshire.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I see no guests in the room, and I see no one for public comment. So we'll move to number 6, approval of the April 11th regular board meeting minutes, which we all have. I need a motion to accept.
So moved.
Mr. Berkshire.
Second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Hayes.
Any revisions, corrections, or discussion?
None that I saw.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Move to the report of our executive director.
Good morning, members of the board, ladies and gentlemen. Since the last month's meeting, the district has issued 4 weekly flag reports to the executive chamber. It's officially that Rajiv Shah has been appointed the Assistant Secretary for the Environment and our program representative. So I've got 5 executive actions noted, plus 2 others that have occurred since that period of time. First off, 3 interns were selected for the New York New Leaders Program, and all have accepted the offer, so we're excited to have them. Planned start date is, the window is from 15 to 22nd May. We anticipate bringing them aboard on the 22nd for onboarding. Their primary assignment is going to be to update the erosion and slope stability monitoring plan. It's something that's periodically supervised by the engineering department and the administrator to go around the lake and to be able to check our status. Because of our staffing issues in the past, it's been episodically done, and we're intending to really get a good look. The people that we've hired are capable of doing surveying and engineering type of activities, and to be able to get around the lake and examine all the areas for erosion control. And then do subsequent work on erosion control equipment around the lake from the land and water side. Their internship is as Great Sacandaga Lake Stewards, and we very carefully define that. So it's the work for college interns in the summer, so to speak. And we'll talk about a resolution authorizing their employment subsequently. Secondly, the chief engineer and I met with Schnabel Engineering to discuss cost, schedule, and performance in their proposal. We've done a couple information exchanges with them, and just so everyone is on the same sheet of music, we've got information back, and now we're planning on having them come to the Indian Lake meeting to present the proposal to the board in public. We feel that they can have their analysis done and bring a proposal, particularly for how it relates to cost, schedule, and performance, and goal being to get the best value for the district out of the work that they're doing, to not have to do unnecessary work if necessary, if not necessary, and then to be able to incrementally do the work with analysis in between. And we think that'll be the best way to actually get the information we need from Schnabel to then set up the entire renovation of Conklingville, if you will. Thirdly, the Great Sacandaga Lake Advisory Council met on 20 April at the town of Edinburgh. They have approved a resolution funding an additional position with the Adirondack Watershed Program, or Adirondack Watershed Institute, for invasive species inspection. We have a fairly good schedule for Saratoga, Northampton, and Broad Alban boat launches to be able to both monitor and educate folks to limit the invasive species in the lake, and the council voted unanimously to fund that additional position along with DEC money. It's going to be a good inspection program for each of those boat launch sites. I wanted to note that our second edition of our newsletter was published on the first week of May. We had a click open rate of about 59%. And a forwarded click rate of somewhere about 13 to 14%, which is very good in website terms of competing for strategic communications bandwidth amongst the general population. And we've got lots of good names for the newsletter to name it sort of thing, and we'll get those out for the next meeting and the next newsletter to have a survey vote to see what the general public would prefer to have. Last Friday, I attended the New York State Association of Lake Associations. It's an interesting group of lake management ideas. The conference included dam safety. I intended those for septic system planning around lakes and also invasive species. So lots of good ideas to bring in for the best practices for lake management.
How often do they meet?
It's a yearly meeting.
Yearly,
And
okay.
they have a fairly robust, a 2-day program of activities, and it's really knowledge-based. It's to teach lake associations all around New York State about best practices for managing lakes. It was really an interesting group of folks. Yesterday, not on your roster, but I attended the Great Sacandaga Lake Association meeting on a safety initiative for Great Sacandaga. It was initiated by the mother of the young man who drowned off of the Igo Inn last year. They raised $30,000 for in this case, the Fulton County and Saratoga County Sheriff's Department to buy a sonar for the dive unit that Saratoga County uses, but also the one that Fulton County is trying to regenerate. Fulton County is very active in trying to return sheriff's patrols to that county side of the lake, as Saratoga does, as the state police, as the DEC NCON officers do. But they're putting together an initiative that's supported by the Sacandaga Protection Committee, the Great Sacandaga Lake Association, the Adirondack Jet Ski Club, and other civic organizations to promote safety, to prevent accidents around the lake sort of thing. And our target window is before people come to the lake in May, June. It should happen very quickly. I'll keep the board apprised of the activities that they're doing, but generally speaking, it's something I believe that the district should be fully supportive of, to include using our public relations forums to be able to publicize to people to prevent accidents before they happen. A lot of them are they're safety-related actions that people can take, and getting the word out is the primary means to prevent them. So I'm working with that group. Lastly, before we go into a couple areas of business that I wanted to bring your attention to, we hadn't had any word back from the Black River Environmental Improvement Association on the land sale out at the Hawkinsville Dam area. They're still waiting for internal board actions to be able to finalize that, but I did talk to the chairman of their board, and he feels that it's a reasonable option for them to sell it outright to us for the appraised value that we have gotten from the appraiser that we sent out. So I think that's still in the works. It just hasn't quite happened yet. As soon as it does, you recall you authorized you to negotiate with them for the sale, and I'll keep you apprised of it as we come to a conclusion and hopefully a negotiated sale of that piece of property. Subject to your questions, we'll move to the subsequent activities under my report. Just wanted to check if you had any questions.
No, any questions or comments?
No, I don't.
If not, let's move to the resolution to authorize the temporary employment of the 3 interns. I guess you said commencing May 22nd?
Yes. And it's on page 54 of your packages.
We have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion on that?
I just have a couple of questions. Where are the students from?
There are a variety of colleges and universities from around New York State. One is a graduate of the SUNY Ranger School in Wanakena, and she is now a environmental sciences student at Siena College. One is an engineering student in civil engineering with an emphasis in stormwater management from Syracuse University, and the other is an environmental sciences major from Paul Smith College. So we've got a really good variety.
Are they local people?
They're mostly local.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's no housing we have to worry about?
No, we're not
Okay,
responsible
okay.
for their housing. They'll commute and or find
Okay.
a local place around the lake to live.
And you said you had questions, was that the only question? Okay,
Just
all right.
question of curiosity.
So no further questions, in that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. We need a resolution, a memo in support of the MC salary actions, Mr. Small.
I already read it.
Yeah.
So on 56 is the memo, which is consistent with the memo over the last 2 years. There, we did indicate that the actual bulletin this year out of the Division of Budget D 1135 would be attached. I'm going to provide the board with a link to that board bulletin, which I'll send out to you when I get back to the office. I just wanted to point that out.
So it just brings us up to speed with the rest of the.
So it's a memo, there's no board action required?
No action required.
Okay.
But we just wanted to make it publicly
Yeah,
aware that.
okay.
The action in Albany has finally triggered action here in the district.
Okay, very good. Moving on to, was there any other action you need, the executive director needs?
Subject to your question, that's my report
Okay.
for the month.
Very good. Move on to contracts. Contract 1, motion to approve regulating district annual report for January 1st, 2016 through the December 31st, 2016. Mr. Ferrara.
Just from on page 59, actually there's 2 items here. I just wanted to address the mission statement. We get back to the annual report, but the mission statement is actually in your board report. It's pages 57 through 59. I did leave, there's a copy, I believe Mr. Finkel has it. On page 59 would be the page where the members would acknowledge that they understand the questions and the answers to the questions. If you guys would just sign that page, and we'll take that back and PDF and it'll be attached to
I don't think we found it yet.
No, there's a hard copy.
Sorry,
Being floated.
board report that I gave the chairman.
Oh, okay.
On page 59 is where you guys can sign. So
Got it.
you can use that page.
He's thumbing through it now.
59.
If you like, I can just go through it. And,
Alright.
it's on page 57, so for our purposes, it just defines our annual mission statement and performance measurements.
Oh.
So the mission of the regulating district is to construct, maintain, and operate reservoirs in the Upper Hudson and Black River watershed, including the Secondog, Indian, Black Moose, and Beaver rivers, for the purpose of regulating the flow of streams, rivers, and required by public welfare, including public health and safety. And then it goes to the regulating reservoirs that we operate, and the successful completion of the mission, flood protection, low flow augmentation, and sufficient water flow, to avoid increased treatment costs associated with water discharge, and then to be able to enable downstream hydroelectric plants to generate low-cost hydropower and hot summer months from highest. And that was first adopted in 2007, and then subsequently the mission hasn't changed per se.
Okay. I've already read it.
The same goal, same metrics.
And you gentlemen all, it hasn't changed since in years past. I know it to be what it is.
Okay.
I still can't find it in my own packages.
I think this,
Page 57.
It starts at 57 and the signature page is on 59.
9, yeah, I found it.
Not respectfully the one that I have.
Okay, well here,
We got it.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry, that's the annual
So it's
report
right.
itself.
we found it here.
We found it. We got it. We got it.
So the mission statement was in the
Gotcha.
board packet. The annual report being so long, we just put a link out there so you folks can look at it.
Thank you.
Always bring a copy.
Okay.
There we are.
Bingo.
Right church, wrong pew.
Kind of like this. So we need a couple of motions.
Okay, motion to approve the annual report, as I read. I need that.
I make that motion.
Mr. Burke,
Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
Mr. Hayes.
Any further discussion, questions?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We need a motion to approve the annual review of the mission statement and performance measurements. I think you just spoke to that, right?
Correct.
Do you have a motion to that effect?
59.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Hayes.
Second?
I'll second.
Mr. Berkshire.
Any further discussion or questions of Mr. Farrar?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nope.
And the resolution to approve the phone system proposal. Mr. Farrar, I know you've presented it before.
Mr. Chairman,
The VoIP?
page 60 is my memo, 60 and 61 is the memo. Resolutions on 62 and 63. We've been reviewing this for probably 6 months. The initial analysis was to first look at a replacement of the current phone systems that are in Mayfield and Albany. Albany has an Avaya system. Mayfield has a Nortel system. They both operate the same. They're similar configuration. The one in Mayfield is several years older, doesn't have some very basic features that any phone system that you purchase today would have. Bottom line is both systems are antiquated and certainly are far beyond their, quote, useful life. So when I looked at just doing a replacement using a Avaya system, because Nortel didn't have a system that was quite frankly worth looking at, we looked at 2 vendors, Meridian and Optima. Optima is the incumbent vendor for the Avaya system in Albany. Meridian quoted a cash option of $22,906 to basically get what we have today. No new features, just a new box. We might upgrade some of the phones, but it certainly wouldn't look any different and provide any additional features. Optima's quote was $19,858. If you amortize that in terms of 3-year leases, Meridian would be $946.52 a month. Optima would be $827.42. So my assessment was, do we really want to upfront outlay between $20,000 and $23,000 and have the exact same thing we have, albeit maybe shinier? And then some years down the pike, 3, 4, 5, be in the same boat in terms of being behind technology. Everybody would be moving along, we'd be sitting there with the same system and having to make the same decision. Do we upgrade the box? What do we do?
By then, we'd be 2 generations behind.
Probably. And who knows?
Minimally.
Right, the way technology does. So, the executive director and I were talking about it, and we have a VoIP system that we piggyback on in Watertown, in the Dulles building. It's not our system, we actually piggyback on a state system. Seemed like a cool system. The director made some very excellent points about technology and just the feature and how a VoIP, voice over IP system would probably benefit us because it kind of allows you to use your computer as your phone. So they basically become connected. The difference with voice over IP is you actually have to connect the phone like you would connect the computer using a Cat5. So the technology and the feature availability in the VoIP to me was a flat no-brainer. It gives you far more features. Some of the simple ones where we call Mayfield and put you on hold if I can. We get you this person. You can actually call the other location in this case, and they're just like another extension on your phone. So some very basic things that you would never get in a regular PBX current system we have. So we decided let's go down the VoIP road. We went down that road. We looked at same 2 vendors, and then we added Tag Solutions, who uses ShoreTel, so they're a reseller of ShoreTel. So the 2 vendors we use, Meridian and Optima, both quoted voice over IP systems from Avaya, which is a comparable system to ShoreTel. Tag Solutions quoted ShoreTel. The VoIP option from Avaya was $12,000 up front, $542 $555.80 for a 3-year lease. If you turn that into a monthly over a 3-year, meaning amortize that upfront money, the Avaya from Meridian would be $885.22. Optima was just a monthly, no upfront, $884.35 a month. Tag had a small upfront, $1,360, and their 3-year lease was $763.75. That leveled out at $801.53 a month. So from a pure price standpoint, over a 3-year lease, ShoreTel, the Tag's reseller, or Tag, the reseller of ShoreTel, had the lowest 3-year price. But what I really liked about the ShoreTel product is that Tag went the extra mile in calling us in to demonstrate the system, talk about the system we currently have in place, how this system actually worked while you're sitting there in a conference room with the phone in front of you. None of the other vendors even mentioned any kind of demonstration, only provided voluminous technical specs which most people wouldn't understand what they were even reading. So I had a much better comfort, zone with the ShoreTel product. Did a little research, and there's a number of analysis out on the internet that puts Avaya's VoIP against ShoreTel, and the bottom line is they are very equivalent. Avaya leans towards larger environments, corporate environments, more diversity in terms of how you're going to set up the system. ShoreTel's more small companies like us. So I thought, in terms of just looking at it from that perspective, the ShoreTel was probably the better product for us. I liked the fact that they were going to do a lot of training for us to get up and running on the system. And also Tag Solutions' ShoreTel product is on OGS contract, and Tag is a New York State small business, so we checked 2 boxes there. We did look for MWBEs. We found one. Their name is eluding me at the moment. We gave them a shot. They said they'd get back to us. They never did. So we went down that road. So my recommendation to the board is to select ShoreTel and have Tag provide that service to us, and at that 3-year lease price. And actually, it's going to be $1,360 up front and then $763.75 for 3 years. During that time frame, any issues with the phones, any technology things, it's automatic. We get it. So we're not going to be 3 years down the road looking at old products, old technology. Hey, they're doing this, we can't do that. The only other thing I left out is we're going to use a cloud version of this, so we will own nothing. This will be just like a cell phone. And you basically rent the phones, and the software applications, everything sits in the cloud. It's a beautiful thing. So we will have nothing that we have to worry about in the back closet that's going to break. We don't have any maintenance. All the other Avaya replacements or the other voice had monthly maintenance fees. We have nothing. We pay our fee. We use our phones through our computer. And I invite you guys, once this thing is set up, to check it out because it's going to be really cool.
Will you include us in the dates for which training is provided?
Absolutely.
I mean, that would give us an opportunity to schedule that, and I'd love to be
I'm not sure if
there.
they're going to bring us over to because they're right in Manans, Tag Solutions, so they're right close to our Albany office. So we're going to work out how they'll either come to our office, go to Mayfield. I'm not sure we're going to do all the Mayfield folks down. So this will be staggered over a period of probably at least a month, I would think.
Excellent.
Oh, it looks like you've done all the research.
It doesn't replace a phone, the box itself, does it? If someone calls from the outside, or in fact, does the phone get answered on the?
Transparent to an outsider. The numbers will be ported over.
Yeah, right.
No, but
system.
Correct.
But Sue Visco, for example, she'll now answer on her computer? Is it
She could, if she wanted to. That's the guy from Tag who demoed the system for us said that people use it differently. Even though it is connected to your computer, you'll see incoming calls come in on your computer. If you want to, in fact, lift the receiver off your phone and answer it, you can do that. If you don't, you can actually answer it on your computer. He basically said since he's had this system, he's never touched his phone. everything, he does everything for, but that's a preference.
Yeah.
Personal preference. I'm sure most people when that phone rings, they're gonna grab that and answer the phone, but, I just like the ability to manage your desktop with the phone in partnership. It's just more efficient, and I think we're gonna find that we're not gonna understand the reach of the features until we actually start using them.
Very cool.
Yes?
When a phone call comes in,
Mm-hmm.
they have the option to push a certain number to get that person. They don't have to speak directly to Sue either.
Correct. You can just hold and just direct that call right to somebody else on the network, which would be both Mayfield and, unfortunately, it wouldn't include Watertown or our own system, but, the call synergy, if you will, is mostly, in this case, between Albany and, we get so many calls that should be directed to us, that phone and vice versa, so.
I'm curious, because we're looking at the same thing for the town. Because we got, the phone bills are astronomical.
Right, oh,
Yeah.
thank you. So
We're eliminating home.
Right,
So we
exactly.
eliminate, so right now, Time Warner has been providing data and voice services.
Right.
Spectrum, excuse me. Not Spectrum. So the voice services provided in Albany and Mayfield for voice will go away.
Right.
Everything will be through, over the internet. There'll be no increased cost there. So that's the other way that we got, more than even economies of scale. We actually eliminated our cost that enabled us to, make this decision more easily.
Yeah, last month when I was signing bills for the town, I started adding up what we were paying in phone bills at all the different locations, and it was just staggers the imagination.
Right, and I think our voice, they weren't crazy. I think our voice charges between the two locations were around $200 a month.
Yeah.
And it's
Peanuts.
not a lot, but
Yeah.
it's something that goes away.
Yeah.
The only other consideration was bandwidth. So in Mayfield, that has a somewhat slower line through Spectrum than we have in Albany, I had a concern. They basically said it's not how much bandwidth, it's how much consistent bandwidth you have. So they looked at that through Tech Solutions actually was able to do that for us, one of the providers of this service, and our bandwidth in Mayfield is fine. Albany it's off the charts there.
Right.
There's no issue there.
Okay.
So we're very pleased.
Any other questions?
No.
If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the ShoreTel system through TAG, and
I'll make that
go
motion.
forward with it.
I'll second that.
Mr. Rosenthal, Mr. Hayes.
Further discussion?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We will move on to staff and committee reports. The audit committee, Mr. Brookstresser.
All right. The audit committee would like to bring forth the resolution to exercise the option and amend the audit services agreement C 012014. We've already discussed it in committee. You want to bring it up here, Farrar, real quick, or?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go back to the resolution. So,
In the board packet, all the way back on page 5? Just want to double check here.
So basically, we've had an existing contract with KBL since 2014. So all we're actually doing in this case is amending that contract to include executing their option to do 2017, which will be this coming June, fiscal year ending, and then adding an additional option through June 30, 2018, our next fiscal year ending, and that will be a not to exceed amount of $22,570.69 plus expenses up to $4,000, which is current agreement, agreed upon rates.
All right, so the committee recommends bringing it to the full board for approval.
Do you have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. General Counsel's report, Mr. Leslie?
The United States Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit is still yet to schedule the oral argument in the Erie v. Perk matter. They're still holding firm on May 24th is the last thing that they've scheduled. So,
Say that, May 24th is the last item they will schedule?
There's two ways that I look at it. I look at the docket to see if anything has changed on our docket, and the last entry there is in February where our attorney said I'm available on these dates but not available on those dates. The last calendar entry for the court as a whole is for May 24th.
Is it complete? Or you would not know?
I would not know, yeah. Traditionally, they don't meet over the summer, so I'm kind of wondering whether we're pushed off to September, October.
We're not sure.
We're not sure as to when we're going to end up on their docket. On the other hand, that tells me it's only money, and the court is not terribly worried about getting Erie any money back that they think they may be due. So that, I think, works in our favor. The negotiations with DEC regarding the fishing access point and staging for the embankment for the Hawkinsville Dam continue to be on hold pending resolution of the BRIA land purchase. And then the third and final thing, perhaps the most important of these, is that your financial disclosure statements for any FDS filer who has to file such statements are due May 15th. Today is May 9th. So we've got less than a week left to pull up the JCO website, go to the FDS filer spot, confirm the answers that are on last year's document, and hit send, or alternatively, file the matter in paper form. But they have to be the JCO by the 15th. As each of you are aware, JCO keeps track, and eventually they will send a dumbing letter to you and alert me of the fact that they haven't been told. So, that's the end of my report. If there's any questions.
Any questions, comments? Thank you very much.
We have lots of time.
Compliance Officer, Mrs. Hickey.
Thank you. My report can be found on page 65. I have several MWBE reports that were submitted to ESD this quarter. Under our Service to Disabled Veteran Business section, our fourth quarter report was submitted to OTS. We achieved 2.5% for the quarter, and we ended the fiscal year with 3.5%. The required amount is near 6%, so we fell a little short of that. Our 17-18 goal plan was accepted and approved, which does also include the 6% for the upcoming year. And currently in our first quarter for the 17-18, our current spend is $419 for strategic response initiative. They're like a resellers of range products, so we do use them for several things. As a reminder, please review the contract status sheets on pages 66 to 68. Let me know if you have any questions on those. Their inclusion is included at each board packet, satisfied the public authority requirement. If you have any questions, if not, that completes my report.
Any questions, comments?
No.
Thank you very much. Chief Fiscal Officer, Mr. Farrar.
Mr. Chairman, my report can be found on page 69 through 101. Focus on page 69. Under reporting, I indicated that the state shares are due this month. We did receive both the state share of $1 million for the Hudson River area and the Black River area state share of $250,000. We had one small glitch. They dumped both amounts in the Hudson River area account versus the Black River, so we've informed them of that. They're trying to work out some mechanism where when we tell them that's how they should book it, they'll actually book it that way, but there seems to be a disconnect. We have the money though, that's the good news.
Just write them a check,
Right, they could do
send
that.
one to
Right,
the other.
Right. The, under procurement, we are expecting the RFPs for commercial liability insurance, which expires the end of the year, June 30th, 2017. We expect those to be in by, actually they're due in May 12th. So my understanding is from our insurance consultant, Compass Company, Patricia McCarthy is leading the effort to issue the RFP. There were a number of addendums, a lot of them having to do with the complexity of the type of coverages. But right now, it looks like we may be down to just 2 submitters. We thought there were a solid 3, went out to, I think, a half a dozen or 7. And the reason for that was the same issue we had 3 years back, which is many of these bidders have concerns about the structures. So, you know, hey, they're damn structures, you know. Things can happen, and if you don't want to insure them, you don't insure them. So there was a lot of back and forth with them. Rob Sultan has been providing all of the inspections, all the updated information. So right now, best case, 3 bidders, worst case scenario, 2. And we should know that by, we'll certainly be issuing the board a recommendation to approve one of those 2 by the June meeting. And just to point out on page 90, which is the most current version of the cash flow report for the district, you can look at May, and it does reflect the $1 million and the $250,000 for the 2 watersheds, bringing the Hudson River area to $3.6 million, and the Black to $1.5 million, and I would consider them the high water marks, excuse the pun, in terms of funds received. And those are good numbers. Good as they're going to get.
You're good.
They're better than the ones I remember.
That is a good point.
Mm-hmm.
There were some lean years there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have board expenses?
Oh, I'm sorry. And if there's no questions, then the board expenses are on page
102. 102.
2.
Yeah.
And the board would address them.
I'll make the motion to pay.
Mr. Professor?
Second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Hayes?
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anything else, sir?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Our chief engineer's report, Mr. Fulton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My report begins on page 103. We had in the month of April above average precip and above average inflow compared to historic average in both the Hudson and the Black River watershed. As such, and as demonstrated in the graphs that I've included in my report, we refilled the reservoirs, not at least 2, very, very close to typical full elevation. In the case of Sacandaga, certainly a little bit more than the full, given the more recent precip, and all the reservoirs were making the releases necessary to maintain those full elevations, or even, again, in the case of Sacandaga, bring it back down to an elevation at which we will begin the summer. And right now, at least for the short term, the next week, it's going to be a little bit drier, so we're hopefully be able to do just that, in both watersheds, all the reservoirs. In terms of some of our consultant activities, Mr. Smolin mentioned our work with Schnabel and also at Conklinville Dam. We are poised to begin in June the repair of the ice sluice with Kingsbury Companies as the construction company. And that should last about 4 months or so, 4 to 5 months, and then we will have repaired the ice sluice by the end of the summer and beginning of fall. Any questions? I'm happy to take them.
Any questions?
No, thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you. The Hudson River and Black River Administrator, Mr. Hodgins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My report starts on page 137. I'm glad to let you know that the workboat was launched last Thursday.
On purpose?
The water didn't come up to it. We put it
Okay.
in. So, in fact, today they're out helping the sea put the buoys in the Great Sacramento Lake, using them as a platform, helps them out breaking.
Good.
I thought it'd be a good time to get any bugs, and the thing has been in the water for 7 years, operated that way before we put a long closed stone on it, had trouble. So,
That was one of the amendments to the commercial insurance, was to now add back the workboat to get insurance coverage.
Really?
Both short-term between now and July and for the bidders.
Update with Okie Gizzy Edwards and Mayfield with that encroachment. Their deadline was May 1st to have all the remediation complete. That didn't happen because of weather and water levels, so DEC has extended that to June 15th for remediation. And we participated in a downstream valve inspection at Conklinville Dam. Brookfield Power lowered Stewart's Pond. So we went up there, chief engineer let us know that the water's going to be drawn down enough. We put in a rowboat, and quite a few of the staff members had a chance to go up into the conduit or the release from the valve and do a downstream valve inspection. So I went up about 20, 30 feet inside the conduit with a flashlight and rowboat and checked the valves out as much as we could.
No.
And the other thing I'd like to mention, great job that Stephanie did with her involvement with the internship program, getting them on board. She was involved quite a bit and did great. I'll be glad to answer any other questions or any questions anybody may have.
You raised my pet peeve of the Gizzy violation. So my question is, have they been, I believe my recollection is they were suspended for a year. So has their permit been reissued?
They've been suspended until remediation is complete.
So in this,
So we'll bring it to the board to review the.
Thank you very much.
When all the parties have been satisfied, then we'll bring it back to the board.
How are they going to continue the remediation if the water's up?
Well, 90% of the remediation was completed
Oh, okay.
last year. Then the winter came in and they weren't able to put down the grass seed or hydro seed or plant any of the trees.
Okay.
So that's all they have left to do.
Oh, okay,
Because
okay.
all
The water.
soils and all the movement of materials is complete.
Oh, you answered my question. Okay.
you answered my next question too. Okay.
About 7:15.
Yeah.
Okay.
About 760.
Any other questions or discussions? Thank you. Any board member questions or comments?
I'd like to just bring one thing to the board's attention. In the March meeting, the board resolved to approve the engagement of the consultant for the insurance, the risk management office company. In the resolution, the now therefore be it resolved had the correct not to exceed $12,500. The be it further resolved indicated an amount not to exceed a one-time of $7,000. The one-time was actually a first down payment of $7,500. So kind of a technical thing. It's, so the contract, the full contract is $12,500.
Okay.
They've already been paid it. I just wanted to
All right.
apprise the board that there was a clerical error in indicating the first payment.
Any other comments, questions?
I have none.
None? I'd like a resolution for the next board meeting, which is in Indian Lake on June 13th.
I'll make that motion. I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Get on there.